Hello everyone and welcome back to TerraFirmaCraft. Today I have something to show you guys. We have a filled to the brim powder keg, which I'll now be sealing up. So now all we have to do is find a place to put it. So that's what we're going to do today. Today we're just going to do a little bit of scouting. And the reason being is just that I want to kind of end off episode 100 with the bang. So for at least two-ish episode, we'll just focus on being a little bit more on the talkative side while we look for a place to put this. I'm having a real weird problem keeping my eyes open right now. I don't think that I'm tired. I'm definitely not tired. It's just like constant urge to blink, which is weird. Anyway, moving on. So we're gonna go look for something to blow up. Today we're gonna probably look for some iron, I guess. That would be the best option, I suppose. Despite the fact that we're probably not gonna use the iron we find, but regardless, it's something to do. So we'll do that, and yeah. So today is usually the day when I upload Netso Republic, but I think I'm not gonna put it up this week. I think I'm gonna start next week since I'll be on break for TFC. Kind of swap up my schedule. And then I've decided I am gonna try out TerraFirmaPunk. Oh my god! Assuming I can get it all up and running fairly well. I don't think it's available with any launchers. It might be available in AT Launcher. I don't know. I'm pretty sure not, though. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. If it's not available with the launcher, it might be a little difficult for me to set up. It's been a while since I've had to make a mod pack manually. I'm sure it's packaged all together and everything, so it's probably not nearly as bad as I'm thinking it will be. But regardless, it might take me a little bit more time to get set up if it is not from a launcher. Which is fine, because episode 100 will be coming out next Monday. And then I won't have TFC for the Wednesday or Friday of that week. And I'll probably also put off... Okay, let me mark my iron mines. Okay, this one is... Okay, that's good. Alrighty, so now if I find a pocket of iron that isn't associated with the waypoint, we're going to try that one. And that'll be that. Alright, what was I saying? TerraFirmaPunk. Yeah, so I'll try to get it if there's a mod loader, or if it's available with a pack launcher, then that'll be easy peasy. But if it's not, it might take me a little bit more time. But I'll have plenty of time because episode 100 comes out on the Monday, and then I'll have the rest of the week freed up to do that. And then I won't be putting it out the next following week. It'll probably be the week after that. So there's going to be 5 days, which would normally have TFC that don't. But then we'll be back. So, yay. For those of you who are wondering how long before TFC gets back on this channel, because this is by far my most popular series, and as a result, I feel like I need to continue it in some way, shape, or form. So we'll give TerraFirmaPunk a try for a while. I'll maybe run it as a pilot for like 1 or 2 weeks, and then if it's doing well, keep it going. If it's not, then I'll think of something to do with vanilla TFC. I'll probably think of something I can do with vanilla TFC regardless, just in case. Get something in mind to do. But for the most part, I'm worried that trying something, I don't know why I'm heading specifically towards waypoints. That's not what I want to do. Alright. Let's go over here. Let's look throughout this area over this way. Good thing about starting in andesite territory is iron's not hard to come by. So that's nice. Little Mr. Spider down in the canyon, which is good for him. It's much better than being up here where he can hurt me in the middle of the night. So that's the plan with TFC, and I did also tackle the plan with Not So Republic 2, so that's not starting this week, that'll start next week when my workload is shifted up a little bit. And then the week after that, TFC will be back up on the channel in some way, shape, or form. Now, other stuff I can talk about. I don't really have anything specific in mind. I suppose I could just talk about random stuff, like I do. Alright, I got some hematite here. Small sample, medium sample, medium, small, nothing, 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 nothing. Traces, traces, medium, 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 nothing, medium, large, ooh, there we go. Large, 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 medium, 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 large, 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 medium. Yeah, so I'm gonna say here. Why not? Start a little bit lower. Should have kept the shovel with me, honestly. Oh, I don't have any food on me or water. I did not come prepared. As a wise goat once said, always be prepared. What's that even from? I know it's sung by a goat. Is that Hoodwinked? I think that's Hoodwinked. That's probably Hoodwinked. I haven't seen that movie in forever. Well, I mean, I enjoyed it when I saw it, but I was a kid when I saw it, so I really don't know how good it actually is. I really should have marked that spot. Whoops. I believe it's over here. Indeed it is. Alright, so let's give this a try. I don't even have like anything that I need to do this. I came very ill prepared. Okay, that's about as low as these ladders will take me. Alright, let's head home. Let's mark this first and foremost. Iron. Save. So we're looking for the red one. On our way back. Good to know. So we'll head home, we'll eat, we'll sleep, and then we'll come back with an axe to get some support beams, and so on and so forth. Alrighty, so that's good. We have our first candidate. We'll see what quality iron it has in it, and then we'll move on. Oop. Oh. So I'm still all for doing like Q&A style stuff in my TFC. Honestly, any of my Minecraft series, I could really do Q&A style stuff. So if you guys do have any questions, feel free to ask them. Somebody asked for the seed not too long ago, and I think I included that in episode 95, 96? I can't remember exactly. It's the one where we made our boots. So, the red steel boots. So, whichever one that was, that has the world's seed in it, I could probably just pull it up again. Why not? Takes all of what, 2 seconds? Less than that? All of a second? So, yeah. That reminds me, I got into a really weird conversation about seatbelts in the comment of a video on YouTube a while back, where some guy was saying that I'm not hurting anybody if I don't wear my seatbelt in my car. And then, like, I understand his point. Like, yeah, the only person you're really putting at risk is yourself, except in the unlikely scenario where you're unbuckled, you fly through your windshield during a collision and hit somebody, or you're in the back seat, you're unbuckled, and you fly at the driver and make matters worse. So there's that. But it made me think that, you know, I can't think of any other laws that are based purely on personal safety, aside from like attempted suicide, which, you know, is a whole other issue. People just want to make sure that people are safe, and if they need help, they can get help. And if you're gone, getting help isn't an option. That's the thing with that. But back to seatbelts. So yeah, I got into a really weird case with this guy. Because at first he was just like, yeah, I'm not hurting anybody. It's me in my car. Why should anybody have to tell me to put on a seatbelt? And obviously, like, when I realized that, yeah, it's the only example I can think of laws like that. My point was that, yeah, well, running with scissors isn't advisable, but it's still better for you to not do it. But then again, running with scissors isn't illegal. Nobody's gonna fine you or pull you over for it. Although, actually, somebody probably will, but they just won't ticket you. They'll probably pull you over and be like, hey, you know, slow it down there. You're holding some dangerous equipment in your hands. Calm down. So that's a thing, probably. But anyway, I'm digressing. Or tangenting. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing something that's not what I've intended to be doing, which was staying on track. So yeah, that's the conversation I was having with this guy. And then he comes back with his reply, being like, super, like, basically anti-law in general. Like, he goes on saying that it's weird that you can be put to death for not putting on your seatbelt. And I was like, no, no. Even in states with the death penalty, I assume. I don't actually live in the States, so I couldn't tell you exactly how they enforce specific laws, but I would be extremely surprised. And it would defy all common sense if the death penalty could be applied to people who just refuse to wear their seatbelts in their car. And then he came back saying, well, no, you can't be killed for using your... Okay, so I also add that they can't just use sentences willy-nilly. It's like sentences are structured specifically for different things. Minimums, maximums, all that kind of stuff. And you can question whether those are valid minimums or maximums, if minimums should even be required, all that kind of stuff. For a good point of view on that, from somebody who does live in America, although is technically an immigrant, I suppose. Check out John Oliver. I guess he has a piece on minimum sentences, which, as somebody who's not in a country with minimums, as far as I know. Actually, now that I think about it, do we have minimum sentence? I should have eaten again. Alright, we have plenty of time. We'll be spending time in a hole, so it really doesn't matter how much time I allot myself to get there, so long as I can get there in time. And I could ride the mule, although there's really no point in it. Could ride the horse just for speed's sake. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's not a long trip. So where was I? Oh, right, yes. Death penalty. So the guy's like, yeah, it's... So I said, yeah, they can't apply sentences just willy-nilly. The sentence has to be fit the crime. And then he goes on saying, no, they can absolutely do that for you, because if you're caught without your seatbelt, they'll give you a ticket, and if you refuse to pay this extortion, then they'll put you in jail. If you refuse to go to jail, then or stay in your cell, then they'll shoot you. And I'm like, no. Well, first of all, yeah, if you don't pay the ticket, you go to jail. You could face jail time. Sure, that's a thing. But if you resist arrest, yeah, they'll try to take you down, but unless you're a threat to yourself, them, or somebody else, or okay, not yourself. If you're a threat to somebody else in the area, or them, typically you don't have to worry about lethal force. And then, you know, people will cite examples of instances where that wasn't the case, where lethal force was used just because they felt like it, as far as you can tell. And then, but you have to realize that that's a minority. There are probably hundreds of arrests made a day where they go, like, without a hitch, nobody gets hurt, and so on and so forth. It's just, you never hear about those ones because those don't sell views on the news, right? So, bearing that in mind, plenty of police do their job just fine. And then, there you go. So, so the guy went from being like, yeah, I'm not hurting anybody. It's weird that there's a law that's specifically for personal safety. To which I was like, yeah, that's fair. But still, doesn't take long to do it. And then he comes back saying, well, it's stupid that they can put you to death for it. And when really, what he's saying is, you can be put to death for resisting arrest, which you can't. you can for resisting violently, and it's not like you're being sentenced to execution. It's officers trying to, protect everybody else or themselves. And then he just goes on this huge rant that makes him basically seem anti-law enforcement. So I call him out on that thing, on the whole anti-law enforcement thing, like citing some really nasty crimes to see if he's going to be try to justify himself by defending those terrible things, like, just really bad stuff. Imagine the worst crimes you can think of, and those were the kind of the stuff I was thinking of. Stuff involving taking, ruining, or scarring people for life. So, I'm sure you can imagine what I'm talking about without me having to say it. So, then he comes back with a reply, and he reverts back to his first comment, where he's just like, no, yeah, it's stupid that there's a law that says that I can't do something that's just a matter of whether or not I get hurt. And he completely disregards his second point, or refuses to address even my first point. And at that point, I'm like, okay, but he's in backpedal mode. So I return back to the initial thing. It's like, yeah, no, I'm not arguing. That's a little odd considering it's the only example of something like that I can think of. But since it takes all of 2 seconds and you're basically gambling your life on it, just do it. And then that ended that, as far as I know. I haven't heard back from him in his comment at all yet. I just found it really strange that he went from, like, not hurting anybody with this one exception to laws, and then went to basically anti-government, anti-law, like, oh, the justice system is ruining the country. It's like, well, whatever. And then back to his initial thing. It was weird, but interesting. It made me consider the fact that, yeah, I can't think of any other laws that are specifically for personal safety. I can understand companies being forced to put seatbelts into the cars, because that's just a matter of public safety. I forgot to bring an axe. Oh well. What's one more stone axe just sitting around the house when I'm done here? So yeah, that was interesting. We're at time for today though, so I'm gonna have to cut this one here. So thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed all that fun stuff as always. If you did enjoy, please consider leaving a like or a comment. Any and all feedback is very much appreciated, and I do love hearing from you guys. As I mentioned before, I'm still very much open to doing like Q&A style stuff, so if you do have any questions, just feel free to ask. I don't get too many comments, so it shouldn't be hard for me to see your question at all. So feel free to ask it. And yeah, I'll get to it at some point, sooner rather than later, probably. Although I do only have like, what, 2 more episodes of this series. So maybe leave it on the comment of another Minecraft series, and then I'll ask it there. Granite Skies or FTB are good candidates. Those will be running for a long, long time. It's because I basically never run out of something to do in there. Alright, but yeah. So that's going to be it for this one. We'll see you all in the next episode. Bye for now.